Before we get into today's episode, I want to shine a light on the show sponsors. Let me introduce you to a game changer in the world of content creation, Opus Clips. Imagine a powerful app that transforms your longer videos into engaging bite-sized reels that not only capture attention, but also promote your brand, your business, or even you. Most of you have seen the Beyond Business reels of past guests or even me flowing through your feed as you scroll. Well, I love to take credit for the hard work of editing and posting on multiple platforms, multiple times per week, but Opus Clips does it all for me. With Opus Clips, you don't have to be a video editing whiz to create stunning clips that resonate with your audience. This intuitive app does all the heavy lifting for you, automatically crafting highlights that shine perfect for social media, marketing campaigns, or simply sharing your creative genius with the world. Are you ready to elevate your content game? Scan this QR code or head to the link in the description to unlock the full potential of Opus Clips and let your creativity flow and watch your engagement soar. Scan the link now or the QR code so it'll stay open in your browser until you finish watching this episode. Then go back and start creating captivating reels today. Your brand deserves to shine, and Opus Clips is here to help you do just that. If you're looking for top-notch drone services of any kind, look no further. Aerial Elite Solutions specializes in providing high-quality aerial imagery and data collection for a variety of industries, including real estate, solar panel, inspection, construction, agriculture, transmission and distribution, and more. Whether you need stunning photos to showcase a property, detailed site surveys for your construction project, anomaly detection of your solar panels, or captivating footage of your event, Aerial Elite Solutions has the expertise and cutting-edge technology to deliver cutting-edge results. Their team of skilled professionals is dedicated to capturing breathtaking visuals that elevate your projects and help you see things from a whole new perspective. With Aerial Elite Solutions, you're not just getting a service, you're getting a partner committed to bringing your vision to life. So if you're ready to take your business to new heights, literally, reach out to Aerial Elite Solutions today. Visit flyaes.com or give them a call at 217-330-7226 to learn how they can help you transform your projects with their drone services. As we all know, storm season can bring unpredictable weather, and protecting your home or business is more important than ever. That's where Midwest Lightning Rods comes in. With nearly 100 years of experience in the lightning protection system design and installation industry, they are the trusted experts in keeping your property safe from the dangers of lightning strikes. Midwest Lightning Rod specializes in creating customized solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring your home is a safe haven during the storms. Their dedicated team understands the importance of safety and offers free estimates to help you decide the best protection for your property. Don't leave your safety to chance. Reach out to Midwest Lightning Rods today and give yourselves the peace of mind of knowing you're well protected. Visit lightningstrikes-weprotect.com or give them a call at 217-872-4676 to learn more about how you can be a part of the community that's been protected by Midwest Lightning Rods. Thank you very much to the sponsors for supporting this podcast and helping us bring you this great content. Now let's get into it.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in this affair. Beyond Business, come take a seat. Join the conversation, it's a journey that's sweet. Life lessons learned and laughter from the heart. With every episode, we're making a start.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond Business. Joining me today is a man who has been in the lawn care industry for over 2 decades. He's went from starting a company 25 years ago to running equipment, to running a company and managing a growing company. And now, having gained the attention of authority brands who bought and franchised his company, he reached the pinnacle of small business ownership. It's my pleasure to welcome brand president of Lawn Squad, Mr. Rod Palmer. Pleasure, man.
Well, appreciate you having me on. It's a good time. And I don't know about that introduction, though. I mean, riding equipment. I mean, I feel like I've done it all, but probably I haven't reached the pinnacle. That's for sure.
Well, I try to gear it towards if you could take you in 2000 and picture where you're at now, you'd probably go, man, that would sure be nice.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is good to keep the perspective of going, there's definitely no time to stop or sit still.
Yeah.
So I kind of do the same thing with all my guests, and I like to just go back a little bit, even before you started getting into starting your own company. When you were in high school, were you a high school kid that were you academic, or were you a hustler, mowing grass or doing whatever the hell you could do to make a buck type of kid, or a little bit of both, or what was that like for you?
Yeah, definitely from had chores, a lot of chores. That's how we made our money back then, right? The allowance, trying to get that allowance to jump from $3 to $5, right? So yeah, we did all the normal things, mowing the lawns, taking out the garbage, doing the dishes. But really, my focus when I think back to high school it was all about sports. I mean, it was competition. Running 3 sports, obviously during the school year, and obviously all the summer things. Leagues and AAU and summer baseball, just really active, super active, probably overactive, to be honest with you. And it's one of the lessons I learned, that I kind of pared that down as I got into high school and then eventually into college, by trying to focus a little bit more on one or two and be really great at something maybe smaller than trying to spread out my skill set and try to be great at everything. Because you try to be great at everything, what is the saying? You're good at nothing.
Right. Well, and I think, though, probably even like from the standpoint of your parents or siblings or whoever got you involved, it's, there's no such thing as trying too much. You could, until you hone in on what works. But no, I feel you. I'm from a smaller area, so it was high school was 4 years of year-round sports, and there was no, the training for football was you're about to run your ass off in basketball. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. But no, so did you go, and when you went on to college, was it in sports, or did you go for, or what sport did you go play, and what did you major in?
Well, there's this little irony. I stopped playing football in high school after my sophomore year. Okay. When I went to college. It was a Division II school in NAIA. I went out for the football team and made it. But my primary was basketball and track were my 2 better sports. But I did actually play football for 2 years in college as well. At like I said, a small school. Had a lot of fun doing it. But it kind of it fit my personality, where I've always been, like I said, very active.
Right.
Wanted to, loved staying in shape, loved the workout, loved the feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Loved the setting goals, working against those goals. And most importantly was the competition. I've just always enjoyed the competition. I'm not one of those bad competitors, meaning I don't hate who I'm going up against, or I don't hate my competitors in business now. No, I actually look to them for inspiration, to compare myself against, to really change the level or the expectations that I have for myself.
Oh, and I think that's probably one of the wisest things you can do, is accept competition and go, hey, well, let's push each other and be 2 or 3 or 4 of the best in the world. You know what I mean? However, no, I like it. So that's interesting, because that's been one of the top 3 things when I've had people in that now oversee several people. My question to them is, what do you look for specifically in someone that's, coming out of college or however it works? And the solid answer is, I want a former athlete, because they have the idea of hard work, delayed gratification, some stick-to-itiveness, everything that what you just described as you were as an athlete that's what made me think of it. I'm like, you just described a perfect businessman. Did you know at the time, have any idea when you were in high school what you were going to do for a living, or how about what was your, if you could do whatever, what would it have been? Or what was your goal at that time?
I thought I was going to argue cases in front of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
I thought I was going to go to law school. My dad had a little bit of a business. He worked at a steel mill, but he had a business where he owned racehorses, standard-bred racehorses, and I always was drawn to that because I want to understand, the business side of that. But for me, my focus, so that owning your own business was in the back of my mind. But I really thought at that point in time I was going to be going to law school, and at some point I was going to be arguing cases in front of the Supreme Court. Okay.
So how far into that dream did you make it education-wise? Because obviously when you talk that's some serious education.
Yeah, really funny story with regards to that. After I finished my bachelor's, I was at home. One morning, I literally went to just a local restaurant for breakfast. One of those $3.99.
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs, pancakes, hash browns. Yeah, it was just. And I'm looking at what kids nowadays don't realize. I was looking at classified ads. Thinking I need to make a little bit of money right now before I go to law school because I paid for college on my own. And an older gentleman comes up to me and says, "What are you doing looking at the classified ads?" And it ended up being a guy who owned Lesco, which at the time was the largest. They were large, selling fertilizer, chemicals, seed, mowers, and he owned it. It was he lived right in town and he owned the business. And he says, he asked me what I was going to do. I said, "Well, my intentions are to go to law school." He goes, "You're not going to law school. Come and see me next week for a job." And when I showed up, they hired me to be a local sales rep, covering basically Cleveland, Ohio.
Right there on the spot.
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about lawn care. I mean, I had done some work for some landscapers growing in high school, but just odds and end type stuff. But because I was literally at the corporate office in Rocky River, Ohio, where they had all the PhDs, the product managers, the people that were inventing slow release fertilizer, that were bringing new seed varieties to market, I got such an incredible education from some of the founders of that company that to this day really invented slow release fertilizer. The same technology that Scott's Lawn Service, advertises with their Step 4, that actually came out of the Lesco laboratories. And I was talking to those folks every single day. And so I just got, it's just the contagious feeling of learning that and having the freedom to go out and call on landscapers and lawn care folks and call on them and introduce these products to them. I just fell in love with it. And so I chose to not go to law school, but to go to lawn school.
Wow. So you started on I'd say most people usually start with going, "Hey, I can do my own thing." And then they get a few rigs and then they get a few setups and then they grow. You started on the other end. You learned about what exactly was going on, which I think some companies still are not sure about what exactly is going on. So that's impressive. So time frame wise, how long did you work for this company before you decided to treat your, buy the product for yourself?
That's right. It was about 4 years into it.
Okay.
4 years into it, basically, and I had taken a couple promotions where at that point I was covering, they created a brand new sales position called a market sales rep, and it basically had me cover not just Cleveland, but going south down into Columbus, Ohio, about 2 hours south.
Okay.
Calling on more of the kind of national accounts or the bigger accounts anyways. And it was during that process that I really got involved in the state lawn care association. In Ohio.
And not to interrupt, but what kind of customers are you when you were like frame wise, what kind of customers are you dealing with?
They were larger lawn care companies.
Okay.
Regional based lawn care companies. It was larger landscape companies that had more of a regional footprint.
Okay.
I actually called on True Green, which was a national brand. I helped the primary salesman to call on all the local because they were headquartered in Columbus at one point.
Okay.
They had a primary regional office in Columbus, I should say. So it was really a lot of the larger players in the marketplace. And so that was some additional experience that I was garnering is see how the larger lawn care companies were using technology or what technology was available at the time.
Sure.
Try to make their routing and their business more efficient. But yeah, that's who it was.
Oh, you've got to see, well, and been a part of getting to implement a lot of the, well, the technology we have now, and how,
Yep.
if ran correctly,
Yep.
it essentially can seriously make you money. It's,
It really,
I mean,
it really can. But the whole experience was so unique because I really got a chance to see the industry from the distributor and manufacturer side.
yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with earlier.
Yeah.
I'm like, you started from,
Yeah.
you're
And
going,
then
I wasn't I wasn't a
that's
weed
right.
eating guy. I just
Right.
got a job.
That's right. But then I had that additional perspective to see what the actual owners of those businesses or managers of those business was dealing with. So on any given day, I was talking to a PhD or the owner of the business or the general
Right.
manager of the business. So talking about what problems are you facing, or what challenges do you have? So it was like I said, it was the most incredible. It was almost that 4 years was like going back to college for 4 more years, but getting real life experience.
Right. That I don't think they make a school for that. So yeah, cheers to whoever took you in. Well, so at what point in your 4 years, I mean, was it within 6 months you're like, oh, at some point I'm going to start my own thing. I didn't realize how huge this was, or how far into your 4 year education did you,
Yeah.
or was it kind of a forced thing, or how'd that work?
No, it was, it was definitely wasn't the first couple of years. I'm not exactly sure when that moment clicked in, but it was about that. I know it was just before I started attending some of the state and national conferences, and that opened my eyes up because when you go to this, the national conference, they have classes that are not just strictly how to apply fertilizer. Or, yeah, they have those ones, and they have the PhDs talking about what products to control weeds. But they also had some marketing classes and some sales classes, and I found myself going more to the marketing and sales classes because I had already the applicable experience when it came to nutrition, fertilizer, weed control. And I literally sat in on a conference, a seminar that I'll never forget to this day. And I can picture it in my head as I'm talking to you right now. Panel discussion with a gentleman from a marketing company called Yes Marketing based out of Columbus, Ohio. And with three pillars of the lawn care industry, Jim Campanella, who owned a company called Lawn Dog, a company called Memphis Spray Systems in Memphis, Tennessee, who were right next door to True Green Chemlawn, and Zillow Lawn Care. And they were up there talking about telemarketing, direct mail, door to door. This was prior to Google or
Right.
pay-per-click or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And I'm listening and I'm hearing metrics like for every so many doors knocked, you'll get this many customers, or for every telemarketing calls, you can get this amount of customers. And I realized, okay, there are KPIs that can be used in marketing to grow your business. I'm going to take this information, I'm going to take it back to my marketplace. I'm going to teach these owners on how they can implement some of these things so that they'll grow their business, need more fertilizer, and I'll make more commission. I'm going to make more commission.
Oh,
by
okay.
teaching them how to sell their businesses. And so it was money driven. It was,
Yeah.
really fun.
Okay.
And,
You're saying, yeah, if I make you better, then you need me more, and I make
Yep.
more money, and
Yep.
let's go.
That's right. And
Okay.
after knocking on my head for about another year and not getting through to some of these owners, which it's their right to do, right?
Sure.
They're like, no, we're just leaving door hangers at the Friday night football game. We're putting inserts on the windshields of the cars parked. I'm like, well, that's good, but you can't scale that. You're not, so I said, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to start a business on my own, and I'm going to do these things that I've been telling people to do, and I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to grow this business.
And it worked.
It did. It did.
Wow.
Well, beyond what
Was there any doubt, or you're like, no, I'm starting this because I know the formula. I'm sharing the formula, but you guys are not biting.
Yeah.
Well, so I think I don't know if that's so unnorm or out of the norm to think that you get an older, especially before the internet, you get older business owner, and you get someone who's got the fire and going, hey, here's what you need to do. They're going, first, you're not smarter than me. It's like,
Exactly.
no, I'm just repeating some valuable shit I heard, man.
Yeah.
We flew across the country to hear some good stuff. I'm sharing it, but they don't look at it like that. Okay. So when you started WeedPro, correct?
Correct.
That would be, you guys, was it actually, I mean, were you the ones who actually did lawn care service, or were
Yeah.
you spraying for weeds only, or what was your?
Yeah, no, it was right off the bat. We created a 6 application lawn care program to compete against True Green,
Yeah.
Scott's, and any of the companies within the Cleveland market. I already had a sense of what those programs were, having
Yeah.
been a salesman to a lot of my new
Right.
competition. And by the way, it was always really friendly competition. Even when I made that decision, I actually reached out to 4 or 5, 6 of those folks and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this on my own." And they were, it's one great thing about this industry is the sharing and the caring.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I mean, most of every great idea that I've installed at some point either came from somebody else or we just tried to improve it.
Yep.
But there's just a lot of sharing, and those folks, had open arms to me in the industry, and I feel like it's been part of what I've tried to do is to pay it back and pay it forward.
Yeah.
By helping other young bucks that are trying to breaking into it, like I was helped in the early years. But no, we built that program. We spent a lot of money advertising and marketing it, and the growth was incredible.
Which you knew that going in is you're like,
Yeah.
here's where the money has to go into this part of it, which is getting our name. People have to, yeah. So how long after you started it did it take off? Was it a slow start? I mean, obviously nothing takes off immediately, but did you hit the ground running?
Yeah, it took off like a rocket.
Really?
It did.
Oh,
I mean,
congrats,
we added 500 customers in the first year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going, hey, we need to get some manpower here. Well,
Yeah. Yeah, I hired 2 guys in the first year, so it was me and 2 other guys.
yeah.
And part of that, and I was in the field quite a bit. I may not have been doing every application, but I was doing applications
Yeah.
at different days throughout the week, or running out doing estimates and service calls. And
Oh, yeah.
and I wasn't mechanically inclined, so that was the challenge for me. I was like, okay, you got to put a hitch on this thing. That area, I did not know the mechanical side of the business.
Right.
So, trying to figure out portions of that was probably my biggest challenge.
Yeah. So you guys would pull up with trailers, and 0 turns and weed eaters and get it done and then treat it and go to the next one. I mean, that was kind of the.
Yeah. Well, one of the things for clarification is I didn't do any mowing or string trimming. We stuck strictly to the fertilization programming.
Oh,
Where we just did the fertilization, the weed control. We would do some spray the shrub beds for weed control, but we didn't do any of the we stuck strictly to the treatment side of the business, staying really focused on just the nutritional aspect to compete directly with Scott's and True Green.
Oh, so you weren't
Yeah.
in the way of the guys that had the mowing contracts or anything. You
No.
just were like, no, we're going to make sure you're cutting healthy grass with no weeds.
right.
And
That's why the
Oh.
growth was so positive, because I went and I networked with those guys that were mowing, and I said, hey, I can be your fertilization department. I'm an expert at this. Leave that portion of it to me. So they were mowing it and I was fertilizing them, and they were giving me, this was work coming to me in droves, because they didn't want to do that part of the business. They didn't know quite how to do it. They weren't even sure if they were licensed to do it. And so I took those pain points away from them. They funneled that work to me. And
made them a full service company.
Yep.
I mean, essentially, at least as far as dealing with
exactly
homeowner.
right.
Yeah.
They would sell the customer, and then they would contract me to do that portion of the work for them.
Beautiful.
And it ended up being my line of credit. Often, in the years that followed, I relied less on that. But in the beginning, I relied heavily on it, because it was almost like a line of credit where I wasn't spending the money for advertising to those folks, but the money was coming in. And so I used that, even though it might have been slightly lesser margin work for me, as if I were to sell it direct, because I was giving these guys a bit of a discount to be their sub, but it was guaranteed money coming through that I needed that cash flow to sustain in that first year.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk about a way to get your name out there and to see. I mean, what you guys are rolling up with tanks, like, is it water tank? Yeah. So to be able to see your probably trucks or trailers or whatever tagged up in town everywhere for a year, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it really does.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes the first year of business ownership hard, is no matter what your business plan is, which again, you seem to have started a company knowing what to focus on, which is you got to spend money on marketing and advertising, as ridiculous as it might seem and might be. We're in the day and age where if you exist, I should know about you.
Yeah, exactly
I
right.
mean, if you're in my area doing work, if I see your truck, I should have seen something before now, you know?
That's
Um,
exactly right.
yeah, well, good job. So did you take any additional, did you return and get any further education as far as, in marketing, or you just kind of were taking in what you were learning and what people weren't doing
Yeah.
and said, I'm creating a plan?
No, I did something I think even better. I did not go back to school for marketing, but what I did is, and I continue to do that through as we speak right now, is I started doing site visits at other lawn care companies in different states and evaluating what are they doing. And I learned right off the bat from the larger players how they were allocating their marketing dollars into which campaigns, whether it was direct mail, whether it was door hanging, eventually into Google pay per click and into search engine optimization, and we could compare stats because we weren't competing with a company in Philadelphia,
Right.
and so
Right.
we were comparing our stats with their stats, and eventually I had a network of about 10 people, and I still have those 10 people to this day, and now the total volume of the 10 companies is probably $900 million.
Oh, yeah.
And when we started, the group was probably at about 100 million, and now
Right.
it's 900 million. And we can compare and contrast in an open style because we weren't necessarily competing. Now things have changed now where we are competing a little bit because I'm franchising all over the country now,
Yeah.
and they've also been acquiring businesses in different states. But because we have a trust built up, we still are able to share kind of best practices and kind of results of campaigns. We may not share P&Ls anymore, but we still share many of the KPIs. And so I didn't need to go back to school to learn that because I was learning from actual spends from actual companies.
Yeah. So I think that's actually something that a lot of people miss out on and it's not just in your industry, in most industries, people who are in business are not trying to hog all the business. You know what I mean? They are more than welcome to have a sit down conversation. Even if you have the people that essentially might be trying to turn someone off, you can still gain a lot from someone who's done it. You know, I even did it. I mean, I was one of them people that thought that I had such a perfect business plan that I didn't even accept input. And the number one thing I should have done is sit down with about 2 or 3 people that I can probably pick out right now and go, here's what I got in mind, tear this shit to shreds. And you know what I mean? And now But optimism, if you think negatively about starting anything, then it's probably not a good idea. So I was just focused, you know what I mean? And then it goes, oh yeah, what about any other perspective other than your brain?
Right.
Because, oh yeah, there's so many people in an industry that you can pick theirs. And I think it's awesome that you're going, hey, I recognize the education I got along the way. And by all means, matter of fact, I got a franchise for you. Right?
That's right.
You want to really start something, let's do it.
That's right. And it's kind of funny because I didn't ever expect to get into the franchise side of the business, but now that I have, and with 2 years under my belt, it's so rewarding, and it slots so perfectly into kind of who I am and what I like to do. I've been a high school basketball coach for the last 26 years as well.
Okay.
It's all about building a game plan, right? Executing, teaching and training, right? My dad used to always teach me, and it's something that stuck with me from an early age. He'll watch a game on TV and he's like, why is the coach screaming so mad? He goes, doesn't he realize, did he not coach those kids the right way in practice? Why is he screaming so loud now during the game? I'm thinking, so I've used that approach my whole life thinking, if they're not doing it right, it's because
it's my
input equals their output.
Good observation by your dad.
Right? Yeah. And my dad was not a sports guy. He was a steel worker and a horseman. And yet made
perfect sense.
A fundamental observation that I use to this day.
Yeah.
God bless him.
That's a good one, man. That's a real good one, actually. So WeedPro was a 20-year operation.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How many people did you end up having working for you?
I think, Did
you ever get out of the field because you were too busy with shit in the office to not be able to be in the field?
No, I made it a point to always, I obviously wasn't, I had technicians that were out doing it, but I always stayed in some form or fashion in the field several times, every day or all week long. I gravitate a little bit more to the commercial side of the business. because the residential was kind of humming, but I was always really involved. I always was the face of the company, out and about networking, attending conferences, attending BNI meetings, Chamber of Commerce meetings. I always felt like, the product that I'm putting out there was me, and I needed to represent the brand. I mean,
Sure.
I told you, as coaching high school basketball, I also wanted to make sure that, I was doing the right things all the time, because I didn't want to have to reflect on either my business or the school that I was coaching at.
Right.
So I just always tried to be very positive, involved in parades, chamber meetings, chamber expos.
Part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how does it work with, was Authority Brands, was that like a random phone call or email you get, or did you reach a point where you didn't solicit?
No, it was a random email.
And it was like, hey.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that I started that peer group with those 10 other companies. And I would say early 2022, at some of the peer group, we'd have some couple meetings a year. There started to be a lot of conversation about these private equity folks are inquiring upon our business and want to get into our books and make an offer on the business. And it just so happens that one of the companies in the group he sold to private equity as a platform, and with the ideal to they were going to inject money so that they could go out and buy different lawn care companies around the country and create one big platform to eventually compete against TruGreen. And so I'm like, well, that's good. I'm really not that interested in that, and got a random email. And I was curious because of what my peer had told me about. I'm like,
Sure.
I'll return the email. And next thing I know, the Authority Brand wants to come visit in town. The CEO, Craig Donaldson, one of the executive vice presidents, Stuart Vernon, asked if they could make a trip in. We had a conversation, and next thing you know, I was in a process, going in a serious consideration to sell the business to Authority Brands.
Yeah. Well, at first that'd be hard to say no to. And now that you've done it, you're probably like, yeah, it would have been a terrible idea to say no. But, however, so they bought you, and then are they like, hey, but we don't want the name?
So no, it was a great question. They did during due diligence, they do looking at trademarks and naming.
Sure.
And a couple of the mistakes that I probably did make early on in the business. The company name was WeedPro, but my website was weed-pro.com. And don't ask me why. Someone said when I bought the website back in probably 2003, 2004, weedpro.com was available, but for some reason we bought weed-pro.com. Okay. Well, ironically, a couple of years later, I got a letter in the mail from a company that says, hey, we own the name WeedPro. You can't use that outside of your geographical area. And I'm like, well, I looked up the company. They were a lot smaller, but I'm like, at that time, we didn't have any plans to go outside of Ohio, so I didn't think it was a big deal. Anyways, going through the due diligence process, we realized there were some other weed pros around the country. And, Authority Brands also owns Mosquito Squad.
Okay.
And they thought, it might be a neat thing to do. Hey, we've got a Mosquito Squad. Let's just name this Lawn Squad. And they left me. We had 3 or 4 different options. I said, let's go with Lawn Squad.
It's legit. It sounds good, right? I mean, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Well, I guess then that's it. They just sit back and search and go, who's doing right? Who's doing well? Let us be a part of it. But how do you stay involved?
So as the brand, one thing that's unique about this deal was, and it's something I'm pretty proud of, that's why I'm probably mentioning it. Lawn Squad, or WeedPro at the time, was the first company that Authority Brands purchased that wasn't previously a franchise system. One of the things they identified early on when they came and visited and through their evaluation, they're like, you already have the process and systems built. You don't realize you are a franchise, because I had locations. I was based out of Cleveland, but I had locations in Columbus and Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
And the same process and systems were running Cleveland and Columbus. I wasn't there every day. I was there maybe 4 times a year. So they identified that the process and the systems that we had built just need to be formalized into ops manuals and digital format for learning management systems. So I was really proud that they basically, made a decision that, we're going to turn you into the franchise portion of this.
Right.
But yeah, as the brand president every day, I still have some oversight of the company, the locations we have in Cleveland and Columbus, which were my original locations. Those are now owned by Authority Brands, but our focus is really on franchising throughout the country at this point. And but it's great to still have like this operation in Cleveland because it serves as the ultimate testing program. You know, we can bring candidates in, show them an actual operation that's running, have them visit technicians that are in the field, really see how the operations work. It gives us the ability to, if we're going to test new products or bring on new service lines, we can do that testing through our corporate stores before we deploy that out to the franchise system, so that it comes with all the the energy and knowledge of knowing how well it works and what kind of KPIs are associated with those initiatives.
Right. Okay. So Lawn Squad didn't exist prior to you. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, okay. Because in my mind, I was thinking maybe it now, because now you guys technically could go buy a company, right? Like, yeah. I have to interrupt this episode for a minute to tell you about the sponsors of this show. Let me introduce you to a game changer in the world of content creation, Opus Clip. Most of you have seen the Beyond Business reels of past guests or even me in your feed while scrolling through social media. Well, I'd love to take the credit for the hard work of editing, posting, clipping, captioning, all these clips on multiple platforms, multiple times per week, but Opus Clips does it all for me. Create an episode, drag it, drop it, and enjoy the work that looks like you did. You don't have to be a video editing whiz to create stunning clips that resonate with your audience. This intuitive app does all the heavy lifting for you, automatically crafting highlights that shine perfect for social media, marketing campaigns, or simply sharing your creative genius with the world. Scan the QR code to unlock the full potential of Opus Clips and let your creativity flow and watch your engagement soar. Your brand deserves to shine, and Opus Clips is here to help you do just that. Scan the code, get to creating. Aerial Elite Solutions is a drone service provider specializing in providing high-quality aerial imagery and data for a variety of industries, including real estate, construction, agriculture, and more. Whether you need stunning photos to showcase a property, detailed site surveys for your construction projects, or captivating footage for your events, Aerial Elite Solutions has the expertise and cutting-edge technology to deliver exceptional results. Visit flyaes.com or contact them at 217-330-7226 to learn more about how they can transform your projects with their services. With nearly 100 years of experience in the lightning protection system design and installation industry, Midwest Lightning Rods are the trusted experts in keeping your property safe from the dangers of lightning strikes. Midwest Lightning Rods specializes in creating customized solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring your home is a safe haven during the storm season. Don't leave safety to chance. Reach out to Midwest Lightning Rods today and give yourselves peace of mind this year when the lightning strikes. Visit lightningstrikes-weprotect.com for more information. Now, let's dive back into the episode.
Initiatives.
Right. Okay. So, Lawn Squad didn't exist prior to you. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, okay. Because in my mind, I was thinking maybe it now, because now you guys technically could go buy a company, right? Like, yeah. And yeah, okay. So I didn't know if it was pre-existing, but no, so are you considered the founder of Lawn Squad?
Yeah, I think so. At least as brand president, the founder of WeedPro that actually did convert, I should say, into it. Yeah. But all the franchising is brand new. We had no existing franchises throughout the country. We just had the location here in Cleveland and Columbus, but we branded them Lawn Squad, and then we started the franchise system from scratch to, and it's been just an unbelievable experience. I'm just so excited to partner with entrepreneurs around the country to help them their dreams of business ownership.
So how many currently have you guys branched out and how many is there?
We have 18 now, and really it started about a year and 2 months ago.
That's a lot. Quick, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't know what typical growth is, but that seems like to have 18 people who go, this is what, of course it takes some commitment, I would say. you know, not
It
just
does.
financial, but I'm assuming you have to get vetted a little bit to see if you're cut out for what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this because Authority Brands already has the franchise development process really nailed down because owning 15 other brands, we were able that part. We didn't have to invent that part of the business. They already had that part playbooked, and so
Oh,
selling franchises is really we're using the model that Authority Brand uses to sell their 1 hour heating and coolings or their mosquito squads or their cleaning authority, using their internal franchising teams to really do the marketing and sales process to bring on potential new owners in markets throughout the country.
well, I'll tell you what, now that we are where we are this day and age, I think if you would have still been called WeedPro, you'd be getting some really interesting content. Yeah. So now that everything's available, it's like, oh, glad I changed the name, huh?
I had received calls throughout the years for people wanting to buy my website.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So interestingly enough, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, can you say you're 2 years into the franchise? So, and if I'm overstepping, just say it. So, do they buy you out and hire you?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of these deals. They bought the company out
Right.
entirely. I am a shareholder within Authority Brands overall,
Okay.
but my role is as the brand president to lead this brand.
The brand Lawn Squad brand
That's right.
president. Okay.
So
Okay.
I am the founder of WeedPro and the brand president of Lawn Squad now. And so I guess I think that means something special because it's not like when we bring on these franchises, they're being trained by somebody that was taught how to do it. They're being trained by the founder.
Yeah.
I often tell them my pain equals your gain.
For sure.
I've wasted more money in marketing than I care to share about, but that has informed me on how to properly spend it. And that's the advantage of franchising.
I was just going to say, I mean, obviously the reason some people don't try to go do their own thing is because theoretically it's less expensive, but then realistically you don't make any money.
Yeah.
So what's more expensive? I mean,
yeah,
I
mean, the value that, and I get it, and I'm speaking as a person that does not have a career or in franchising. This is what I've learned is that whole concept of business in a box, of us bringing you best practices that you're going to start on day one, it adds margin. So while you're paying certainly on any franchise a royalty to be part of the franchise system, the value that we bring is national pricing, national footprint, expert marketing, KPIs that are tried and true, so you know how to spend the money. And so what it costs is to be part of the franchise is paid back through margins that you're going to make through greater efficiency, greater buying, greater learning, reduced learning curve, and it's changed my whole concept and outlook. And I've since, not only am I the brand president, I bought a Lawn Squad franchise. I am both a franchisee of Lawn Squad as well as the brand president of Lawn Squad.
You're double dipping.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, so saying what your goal ultimately was, it looks like fast forward, that's the shoes you're in. Yeah. And to get someone, like you said, you're the founder, but for someone to get involved with Lawn Squad, you are going to try to continue to get better at your job, which is going to be a resource to the people who, you know what I mean? So it's brilliant. And Authority Brands, that's a great idea. I mean, to cut you out of the loop for a price would be insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going, hey, we like what you do to the point where we want you to still do it, but we want you to show other people how to do it.
That's right. And they provide all the additional resources that me as an individual owner just couldn't do it. Like I wanted to go national, but I didn't have the horsepower, some of the bandwidth.
It's a lot, man.
Expertise.
Yeah.
And they brought all that. So I get the power of a large entity, but we retained our culture. We retained everything that we do, but now I'm backed and supported by a group that are experts in this arena. And it's the power of the two. I mean, on my wall to the left is one of the philosophies that I've lived by. entire business career is I always wanted to be large enough to serve, but small enough to care.
Right.
And I think that's really what this is we're still, I still consider my group small in such that we believe about customer service, doing the right thing, pay it forward, and it all comes back.
Yeah.
And yet I'm backed by a group that is large enough to allow us to invest in the best technologies in the industry.
Yeah.
The best marketing.
It's the best of both worlds.
Right. And so it's just it's a dream come true for a small town business owner that is now building a national footprint.
That's great. So do you have is there a goal? Do you have laid out goals? I mean, is it like by 5 years, we want to have this many, or what is it? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And a credit to Authority Brands too, because they gave us the opportunity to grow into our shoes a bit.
Okay.
And so, but we fully expect that we're going to see growth of at least 20 plus franchises annually.
Oh.
And the market there are some great options out there for lawn care franchises, but we have so much white space right throughout the country that we really think that as we begin to fill in those primary markets and then get into some of the secondary markets, that we have the ability to scale this thing backed by the power of Authority Brands to be amongst the biggest lawn care franchises in the country.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, whenever you had the franchise you have now, is it in Ohio?
It is. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio, and northern Kentucky.
Okay.
So it goes down into Kentucky.
So there wasn't one there?
We had just started under WeedPro. We had just started to move down into the Cincinnati market.
Yeah.
So we had a few customers there. So, but when we did this deal, we made that territory available to be purchased, and I purchased.
Yeah.
So that's how.
You're like, I built the potential, so let me go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So is there anybody that how far are these places spread out? You're 18. Are they all over the country, or they're like, no, we're slowly?
No, we've got 5 in Texas, 2 in Florida. We're in Massachusetts, Chicago, Raleigh.
So where do these leads come from? Does that Authority Brand does that part? Or do you have to go? Well,
yeah, the Authority Brands has a marketing division strictly to advertise, franchise opportunities, and a lot of our leads also come from brokers. Brokers are people that obviously are putting their own feelers out and getting people to say, "Hey, I'm interested in a franchise. Can you guide me as to which franchise might be best for me?"
Right.
And a number of them have just come organically through doing podcasts or videos on YouTube, and customer or potential prospects are looking at making a career change. Maybe they've been downsized from their corporate job and they no longer want to work for the man. They want to open something up for themselves. Got factory workers that want to own something, their own American dream. Mailmen. I mean, the gamut. It's not coming strictly from people with lawn care or landscape backgrounds. While that is nice. That's not we built a system so that we can take you out off the assembly line and put you into a franchise and teach you everything you need to know, get you licensed, and turn you into a lawn nerd like me.
Right. Yeah, that's valuable.
Yep.
Well, I think you just nailed it with all the careers you just named. It's like, hey, the word has gotten out over the last 10 years. Word has gotten out. You can be in charge of how much money you make.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of these people, they don't shy away from work. A lot of them work a lot of them probably work harder than you or I physically.
They absolutely do.
But it's like, you don't have to kill yourself but you remember the day and age as well as I do that, hey man, if you landed a factory job, if your dad or uncle or grandpa, that was great. He's going to get a 40-hour, maybe overtime every week. Bam. And it's like, oh no, we don't want that.
It's so true. And in this process, when we're vetting, when somebody's vetting us to see if they want to buy a Lawn Squad franchise, I'm also vetting them.
Sure.
I'm on a like this with them during the early stages of their due diligence. And I'm asking them those type of questions, and I want to understand, what kind of effort do they want to put into it, because I need to make sure that our brand has a consistent culture throughout. And the one thing that I've learned on all those calls is to make that final decision to leave a to leave maybe sometimes a guaranteed income, or they want to own their own business. They've dreamed of it, but they can't quite get over
Yeah.
the top. I'll talk to them, and the conversation comes up every time. Fundamental to business ownership has always been, yes, you can make a great salary, and you're going to make that salary year after year after year. One of the advantages to ownership is, yes, I take a salary, and during those 20 years of me owning WeedPro, I took a salary. But what I was also doing was building net worth, because the valuation of the company was also growing.
Right.
So when it did come to that point in time, when I sold the business, I never realized that. I didn't realize as much until that period of time that it was like putting money away in a 401k. I was building value in this business outside of what I was taking home in my paycheck every 2 weeks. And so when that notch clicks in your head and you start to realize you're building, you're not just getting your salary, but you're also building your net worth by creating value in a business. That's when
huge. It's a huge cherry on top of a good career. I mean,
right.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, you would have said right now, you would have just still had WeedPro, and you guys would have been down in the Cincinnati area pretty thick and just growing when you can. And
that's right. That's exactly right. I couldn't imagine then what I know now. And the power of, there's a kind of a lesson to that too, is I've realized that people are capable of a lot more. And I look back now too and realize some of the managers that I had over time, they were probably capable of being owners, of owning a lawn care business. And so to make that next step is a big step. So I really value and appreciate these franchises that made a decision to sign on with us, because they could have been happy doing what they were doing, but they made an investment into us, into me. And so I hold that very, that's deep in my heart to know that they not only invested in lawn school, but they invested in me.
And into themselves. I mean, through you, so I think what would be tough, and I don't know, I guess as you grow, you'll know more than you would now, but to be able to keep, you mentioned it, the consistency of what you guys bring to the table. You know what I mean? What, I guess the part about someone you do, I mean, it's obviously it's an investment to buy a franchise. So you would think that they would follow the plan and be how they're supposed to, but it just only makes sense that someone's going to think they can do their own thing. And if that happens, do you have a conversation and go, "Hey, remember, here's what we're doing"? Or have you hit that point yet? Or is it kind of like, no, we've had some solid people step up and be a part of it?
Yeah. That's what's beautiful about being an emerging brand amongst a group like Authority Brands, who has these 15 other units. Before we franchised a single unit, I made a visit to I visited 6 of the other franchise companies that Authority Brand owns. And I sat down with their leadership teams in those different franchise units and said, what would you do different now? Or how has this worked? What has been your biggest pain point? What has been your biggest challenges? And we really use that information. We're informed by that information on how to really set up the rules, the brand of Lawn Squad, to try to prevent some of those things that could possibly occur.
Okay.
And we built that in so that the vans that they use, they're specified by us.
I was just going to say, man,
that they use is specified by us. We give them a couple of choices. We don't lock them into a single choice, but we really designed a program to try so that the burger tastes the same in New Mexico as it does in Boston. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at. And we built it really strictly on that premise. Now, again, there's latitude within that, but because we have such a regular cadence of phone calls and we share the same, I can see their KPIs, I can see their software. We have so many touch points that people want to do the right thing. They'll only stray if they feel like they're not getting the feedback that they need or the results that they want.
Yeah.
And in franchising, we have built a plan. And if you follow that plan, you will get the results. Typically, you don't get the results when you stray away from that plan. So it's almost opposite of what you would think. So it's been less of a problem than I thought it could be. But I think part of that was all the research we did going into this and built systems and process around making sure that they follow the game plan.
Well, and I think that's it. If your game plan is complete, then it doesn't leave room for going, well, it doesn't say what to do here, so we're going to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't say we need a nice truck. Go get a magnet.
No, exactly right. But I will say what's been unbelievable is that some franchises have taught me, have you considered it like doing this instead of that? And I'm like, oh yeah. And we've made those modifications. I want to say 2 weeks into our first franchise producing revenue, one of them made a comment to me that in hindsight, we changed our process almost immediately across the entire organization because their way was actually better. And it was really a communication. It was a communication thing that, so I'm happy to make those adjustments. And I've told my first 20 franchises, I'm counting on you to be the future leaders of this brand as well. And we put together a council where we can meet with them and get candid feedback so that if changes is needed, we will absolutely be open to listening to the grassroots.
Well, and it lets them, again, you've created a network for people to work, and interact regarding, it just happens to be the same company in different locations, but still, people are people and service is service. I'm sure weeds and lawns are different. Well, I'm sure they're different everywhere, but yeah, I think it's just valuable. You got a good thing going, man. And I guess I didn't realize how extremely involved you were with the whole process. This is your baby.
It is, and a credit to Authority Brands because they offer the help, the support, but they've told me from day one, this is your brand, and let's grow it.
Right.
So we've maintained that culture. Biggest fear I had with the whole change, the acquisition was, were we going to lose kind of that culture? And we haven't. We're still the talking techs. Yeah. We still provide the tech experience. We retained that culture, and I'm proud to say that even amongst those 18 franchises that are out there now, I feel like they're doing it the way I would have done it right here.
Right. So do you still coach?
This was the first year that I did not actually was the head coach. Sad, but what it did give me a chance to do was attend games, different schools, different colleges, games that I had not been able to do because when I'm in season, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
It gave me a chance to which was great too, because now I look at some of the different styles. I'm thinking, if I do this again, I'm going to still do what I do, but I'm going to flex this a little bit and kind of incorporate what he's doing over here.
Will you do it again?
Yeah, I will. For sure. I'm
hoping. Were you coach boys or girls in high school, or what was it?
I've done both, but the last 10 years or so was with strictly boys high school varsity basketball.
All right. Yeah. Oh, that's good competition there. Yeah. Once they get to the age where you can interact with them like young adults, it makes a difference because they start getting the hard work part and all that stuff, and seeing kids go play at the next level and all that's cool.
Yeah.
You ever had any students or ex-players work for you whenever you were working in the field?
Yeah, I did. A couple of them, we'd bring them in for some summer jobs, and taught them the value of hard work, and saying, you see why you need to get that education, son?
That's it. Or you might be getting it right now.
Yeah, that's right. It's great. I still see those guys to this day. One's in finance field, wealth management, and he says, man, I still think back to when I was learning how to apply fertilizer or lawn, but more so how to go and talk to the customer, and get some feedback. So I think it's helped them in their careers.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I think that's it. When it's all said and done, it was great that you were, running a company for 20 years is way past the point of it being successful, whether you made a bunch of money or you didn't. Success means it stayed open. Yeah. So not only did you, manage that, but then to be rewarded by going, come on, man, let's take what you did and spread it and get paid for it. I think that's amazing. Because, of course, we all do what we do because we would like to not check our balance in the bank every time we gas up, but to be able to go, hey, we help, because you're dealing with homeowners a lot of times too, or a lot of your franchisers are. So there's a different taste there to where you're going, hey, nobody wants to waste their own money on, so a good product, get good. That's great. Educated guy that made it happen. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it.
I mean, that's a really impressive story. There's like 4 times I could have cut you off and guessed what would have happened, and I was wrong every time.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, no, it actually went well. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, I tell everybody, I tell all the kids I coached, I told my own children, go and create something of value for yourself. I mean, learn it, right? Take a job, put the time in, learn it, find a niche, find an opportunity, find a pain point, and see if you can solve it. And if you can solve it, you can leverage that and grow a business, grow people, and make something for yourself. And
I think
whether it's franchising or anything, that's my recommendation.
Well, no, that's valuable because a lot of people will nix an industry just because, man, and I never even mowed my own grass. It's like, yeah, that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. You want to have a successful career and a successful business. You don't need to know as much as you think if you know the right people. Matter of fact, knowing too much wrong is worse than not knowing anything.
That's right. That's 100% right.
Well, no. So I'm going to throw up here, and I'll put a link down too. If someone is interested in reaching out, would it just be lawnsquad.com? Go there and check out. Is that what the website is?
Yeah, Lawn Squad. I think it's Lawn Squad Franchising.
Okay.
If they're interested in the franchising information, or if they got to get a hold of me through LinkedIn or if you go to the website and you did put a note in, happy to share as much as I can with them. As I told you, what I want to do is I want to give back.
Yeah, sure. You got any outfits in Illinois?
Yeah, we got 2. We got one in North Chicago and one in Aurora.
Okay.
So kind of north and south.
Yeah. Then you heard it. Hey, you guys heard it. We need one here. We don't have one. But yeah, well, hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you, getting to know you, hearing your story, dude. It's really impressive, man. I like you seem like a really positive, upbeat guy, and life has rewarded you for it. Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed, obviously, and just happy to be doing what I do every day, right? So beyond that, I don't know. We all have problems, right? We all have this hair didn't get gray on its own, but you didn't dye it. It wasn't fashion, huh?
No, I enjoy every day, every single day.
No, that's awesome. Well, like I said, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for joining me. I'll definitely link your stuff. And if anybody's listening that wants to maybe take part in a great opportunity, then you put your feelers out this way and we'll see what happens from here, man.
I appreciate you much.
All right. Thank you very much, man. You take care. Before you close out this episode, let me have one more minute to shout out the sponsors that make it all happen. Aerial Elite Solutions specializes in providing high-quality aerial imagery and data for a variety of industries, including real estate, construction, agriculture, and more. Whether you need stunning photos to showcase your property, detailed site surveys for your construction projects, or captivating footage of your event, Aerial Elite Solutions has the expertise and cutting-edge technology to deliver exceptional results. So if you're ready to take your business to new heights, literally, reach out to Aerial Elite Solutions today. Visit flyaes.com or give them a call at 217-330-7226, or you could check them out on all social media platforms by searching Aerial Elite Solutions to learn more about how they can help streamline your projects. Let me introduce you to a game changer in the world of content creation, Opus Clip. Imagine a powerful app that transforms your longer videos into engaging, bite-sized reels that not only capture the attention, but also promote your brand, your business, or even you. Most of you have seen the Beyond Business reels of past guests, or even myself as you're scrolling through your news feeds on social media. Well, I'd love to take the credit for the hard work of editing, captioning, cutting, posting to multiple platforms multiple times per week or sometimes per day. But Opus Clips does it all for me. I create the video, I drag the YouTube link, drop it, and it's a done deal. With Opus Clips, you don't have to be a video editing whiz to create stunning clips that resonate with your audience. This intuitive app does all the heavy lifting for you, automatically crafting highlights that shine perfect for social media, marketing campaigns, or simply sharing your creative genius with the world. Are you ready to elevate your content game? Head over to the link in the description below or scan the QR code to unlock the full potential of Opus Clip. Let your creativity flow and watch your engagement soar. So what are you waiting for? Scan that code or click that link and start creating captivating reels today. Your brand deserves to shine, and Opus Clips is here to help you do just that. Midwest Lightning Rods specializes in creating customized solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring your home is a safe haven during the storms. Their dedicated team understands the importance of safety and offers free estimates to help you decide the best protection for your property. Don't leave your safety to chance. Reach out to Midwest Lightning Rods today and give yourself the peace of mind of knowing you're well protected. Visit lightningstrikes-weprotect.com or give them a call at 217-872-4676 to learn more about how you can be part of the community that's been protected by Midwest Lightning Rods. Thank you again to all the sponsors for supporting this podcast, helping bring this great content. Thank you all for joining, watching, listening, and being a part of this journey. Till next time, be blessed and be kind to each other. Thank you.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all